Hey everyone, happy Friday, TGIF. Isa Herrera here from pelvicpainrelief.com. W- You know, on the Pelvic Power Hour Show, real answers to real questions posted by real women, and there's no jiving on this show. And I've coming back from a really great mastermind, The Unfair Advantage, and I'm a little tired, but I did promise everyone that I would do this. So I'm keeping my word. So here it goes. I got this question from a woman named Karina, and as you know, I answer questions on the show, and then I give you some really valuable input. Okay. Karina says, things are getting worse with my pelvis as I age. What can I do? And this is it. Karina, you're in for an extraordinary journey, okay? Because what I've done, I have Instagram Live going at the same time, so we're hearing that. What I've done for you, Karina, and for all the women who are tuning in and for my tribe, I created this checklist right here. This is called the Female Pelvic Freedom Checklist, and I'm going to review it with everybody, okay? Because it gives you 4 steps, Karina, on how to reclaim your pelvic power. Now, before I get started, I'm doing some research on this from this question, okay? And I was like, holy mackerel, this is insane, the statistics that I just found. And whoever wants this research, just PM me and I'll send you the link, okay? Again, if you to get the checklist, just type in power. Now, pelvic floor disorders increase with age. Now, there's several risk factors for pelvic floor disorders. Age is one of them. It's like, wow, really? Okay. Obesity and childbirth. Okay. There's other ones, but these are the top 3. So I'm doing research so that I can actually. Hi, Deb. How are you? Thank you guys for showing up. I love it. I'm doing this research, and the research is like bugging me out. I'm like, what? I said, I got to do something about this. Okay. Instantly. And so what I did was I created this checklist. Okay. Now here's the stat. This is from the U.S. Census and Wu Jennifer 2010. Okay. Pelvic floor disorders increase with age, and get this. Okay. In 2008, there were 38.6 million Americans older than 65. In 2050, it's going to double. And we're going to have 88.5 million older Americans. Now, get this. As we age, these statistics become even crazier. Okay. So, what they've estimated in this research, and it's a level 4 research, so it's actually really good, is that 41.3 million women will have some form of urinary incontinence. That's 55%. Okay. 25.3 million will have fecal incontinence, and 9.2 million will have pelvic organ prolapse. Now, here's the deal. These are basic, and I don't want to say basic, because pelvic floor disorder, these glasses are freaking me out. Pelvic floor dysfunction can present itself in many ways. It's not just leaking fecal incontinence or pelvic organ prolapse. It can represent itself as menstrual cramps, pain with defecation, constipation, inability to release the muscles. It can represent itself as sexual dysfunction, disappointing orgasms. So because the pelvic floor muscles, and I need to get my model perfect, are the conduit, or what I like to call grand central station between the upper and lower extremity, they're going to affect multiple systems, right? So these are some of the systems that affect the bladder, they affect the bowel, they affect our organs, right? So what I decided to do was create this pelvic checklist so that I can get you to reclaiming pelvic power, your pelvic power, in a way that makes sense, is clinically proven, and is evidence-based. Okay. Now remember, I do think outside the box. Hi, Jan. Thank you for showing up. Awesome. Just type in power if you want it, but I'm going to review it anyway, because sometimes if I give a checklist like this and I don't review it, people get confused. So that's why I'm doing that's why I'm doing the live, and plus I love doing lives. Okay. So superstar queens, thank you for being here. Again, Isa Herrera from pelvicpainrelief.com. If you're watching on the replay, thank you for tuning into the replay. If you're watching on the replay, don't forget to type in the word power. You'll see it in the checklist, okay? So there's a couple of things that I want to review, okay? So I'm going to go through the checklist. One is the pelvic brace exercise. So if you're here, write this down. You're going to get on the checklist anyway, so you don't have to write it down. Aligning the house of your lady parts. Hi, Jessica. Breathing for pelvic power. Very important. Most of us don't know how to breathe. We are living in a time that even sometimes I'm like, wow, things are changing rapidly. And sometimes when I feel myself really going a little bonkers, I go right back to the breath, okay? And the Queendom massage. So I'm reviewing the 4 steps, critical steps for pelvic power. Why? Because I don't want anyone in my tribe to be the statistics. I mean, it's insane. And I'm not going to put this in the comments too, okay? And so I want to start with the pelvic brace. Now, what is the pelvic brace? When do you do a pelvic brace, okay? A pelvic brace is a simple exercise that you can do when you cough, sneeze, or laugh, when you're having pressure in the pelvis, and when you want to feel, it's a protective exercise for our internal organs. But when women who have issues with leaking do this exercise, it also helps them not leak as much, and it actually can help them prevent the leaking. And when you use this as an exercise, you also have a better core. Okay, so what does it involve? It's 2 things. 1, a transverse abdominal hold. Was it a transverse abdominal hold? To me, that's the number 1 exercise that all women should be doing for pelvic power. Okay, I was just written up on that in Reader's Digest magazine. Thank you, for putting that information out there. That was Melissa Lebret. She's amazing. And she interviewed me and she said, what's the one thing women need to be doing? Transverse abdominal holds, okay? So you're going to combine the transverse abdominal hold with a baby Kegel. Now, if you missed my live last week, I recommend you go back and check it out because I give a whole thing on how to do the perfect Kegel. Okay, it's too much to review here because I'm doing this in series. Okay, it's a series of 4 because I'm celebrating Physical Therapy Month. Okay, and I want to give some really good information out there. So the transverse hold is 2 things. Everybody who's watching here, pay attention. We're gonna do it together. The first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna sit up straight. Posture is everything. You're going to bring your belly button towards your spine and up towards your heart. Now, a lot of women are used to just sucking in their core, bringing belly button to the spine. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to leak more. You're going to have more pelvic pressure. Hi, Maria. Thank you for showing up. And things are going to become a disaster. You may even develop trigger points and spasms in the vagina. Okay? Because the abdominals and the pelvic floor are interconnected. They're like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So whatever you do to your core, remember that it's going to have some sort of response or direct response on the pelvic floor. So the TA hold is, and you need to practice this, as you exhale, and the instructions are on the checklist, okay, because I talk fast and I go fast. The belly button goes in as you exhale and up towards the heart. That's phase 1. Then you have to do phase 2, which is a baby Kegel. Okay. And what that does, it becomes a protective mechanism for your organs and for your bladder when you cough, sneeze, laugh, or jump. Okay. So for women who are having incontinence, pelvic pressure, leaking of all kinds, who are runners, okay, athletes, this is an incredible exercise and it's called the pelvic brace. Okay. Did everybody get that? Give me a yay, do a response, definitely give me a heart if that makes sense to you. Okay. Send me some hearts, some love. Okay. So what you want to do is before you cough, sneeze, or laugh, you want to engage your TA and your pelvic floor. Okay. And I want everyone to try that. So that's part 1. It doesn't take a lot of time to do this. Okay. It's just practice. And when I said under 10 minutes a day, I really meant that. Okay. So that's phase 1. Now, phase 2 is with all of us sitting for long periods of time, which I don't recommend. And that's a whole nother segment that I can do. This is aligning the pelvis. So we're going to put this in, aligning the pelvis. Now, if you're a runner, If you're sitting a lot, if you're chasing after your grandchildren, if you're chasing after your children, if you're chasing after your husband, okay, we have to keep the house of the pelvis right here, which is this bone here. I can't see because I have something right there. If you can move that, perfect. This bone here, which is the pubic bone, pubic symphysis bone, is the house of the pubococcygeus, the bladder, and the uterus. And of course, also part of the area that keeps everything in place. So this bone can become out of alignment. And if your lady parts are not feeling fantastic, if your bladder is giving you some pain, if your bladder is giving you urge, if you're leaking, then you want to align your lady parts, and this is one of the ways that you can do it, okay? It's in the checklist. I need one of those cameras, you know what I mean, that follows me around, and I can exercise. I'm going to figure out how to do that, okay? Because then I like to exercise while I'm doing this, okay? You're going to put your hands, everybody do this together. Put your hands on the outside of your thighs, sit up straight, and press your thighs into your hands without moving your thighs, okay? It's an isometric contraction. You're just pressing into your upper thighs, and you're pressing your hands into your upper thigh, your thighs into your upper hands. You're creating resistance. You're going to hold for 10 seconds. 1 and 2 and 3. And you're going to release. You're going to repeat that 3 times. And you're going to put the second part of this. Everything is in 2 phases. Oh, I'm liking this. Okay. This is phase 2. You're going to put a fist, a yoga block, your purse. If you've been walking in high heels and you get into work and you have to adjust your pelvis. I mean, I've done it all different kinds of ways. And you're going to press into that yoga block for 10 seconds. And you're going to do it 3 times. So let me show you what's on the, okay. Oh, woo, look at this. I'm so smart. Ha ha. Okay. This is how you press out. You see how my hands are my outer thighs? And this is how you press in. Okay. Now, here's the deal with that. I just got out of focus. Here's the deal with that. Sometimes you may hear a pop. Sometimes you may have pain. If you've been pregnant or you are a new mom and you have some issues with your pubic symphysis pubic dysfunction, then this correction may give you pain. Okay. So always pay attention to what's happening in your body and listening to your messages. And you may also hear like a boom, a little pop, which means that things are just adjusting back. Okay, they're adjusting back. This bone, this here, is adjusting back. All right. So that's the second phase, okay? Because if your pelvis is out of alignment and you want to power up on your Kegels, which I mentioned in the last thing, and the main muscle of the pelvic floor inserts right into this bone, right? Then you're like 2 steps behind. Because you're not treating, I want everybody to get the idea to think that pelvic floor disorder is a full person, spiritual, emotional thing. It's not just about the vagina. Okay? So the next thing that we're going to do here, part 3, is breathing for pelvic floor. Okay? Now, I say 3 to 5 minutes a day because I timed everything. I don't want anything to take longer than 10 minutes because time is precious. Now, breath is life. And if you're exercising and you're not paying attention to your breath and you are overly grunting, or if you're holding the breath, you're going to increase the likelihood of more pressure in the pelvis. You're probably going to leak more, which is why some women they're working out at the gym and all of a sudden they leak and they're like, what happened? Basically, it's that because they're not doing the pelvic brace while they're lifting and doing their exercises, and they're not breathing correctly. Okay, so if you're having something at the gym, then you definitely want to check this out. Okay, so the breathing is as such. Okay, you breathe in, the belly expands and gets big, and it's okay. Just let it go. Okay, when you exhale, the belly flattens. And I want you to practice that because when you're exercising at the gym, when you're doing your Kegel exercises, when you're doing planks, okay? Hi, Anna. When you're doing Just type in the word power. I see a little power exclamation point. That's not going to work. You're not going to get the checklist. Make sure you type in power. So if your breathing is off, well, you could get a little bit more symptomatic with your pelvic floor disorder. So I want everybody to conquer the breathing, because the breath is the critical thing for exercising and for executing the exercises that I teach, okay? And if you guys have any ideas of, hey, Kamosha, how are you, Kamosha? If you guys have any ideas on other topics that you want me to do for next week, please type it in, okay? I'm still going to do the reverse Kegel also. Now, diaphragmatic breathing is the critical thing, okay? So what's the first thing I said? 1, pelvic brace. That's a TA hole and a baby Kegel together. It's a protective mechanism. 2, align the pelvis. Because if you're out of whack in this particular bone, then you're going to have less pelvic power. And you're going to figure out, you're going to be thinking like, why aren't my Kegels working? Something's not right here. Well, because you're out of alignment. It's quite simple. The third step, and I think the most important step for all exercises, is diaphragmatic breathing. Okay. Now, for the fourth step, I want to talk here about the Queendom massage. Okay. Now, of course, you got to check with your physicians before you do any of these exercises, just to make sure that they're appropriate for you. Okay. The Queendom exercise here is also Grand Central Station, which is pretty fantastic, right? Because this is a conduit for many of the vaginal pelvic floor muscles, okay? As you can see, many things are connected here. Now, unfortunately, when women go through childbirth, typically this is the area that gets the brunt of it. Either an episiotomy is done in this area, or many of the different perineal tears are done in this area. So and go back and check out my live with the previous thing I talk about Kegels. This is a big area that if you're doing a Kegel, this area has to move like this. Make believe like my lips are this, okay? Like this. Right? But if it has scar tissue, if it's had trauma, then you're not going to have the pelvic power that you want. You're going to be doing 1,000 Kegels, and you haven't addressed the scar tissue. So the Queendom massage is very simple, and I give great details in my power checklist. Put the finger here, well lubricated. Be really careful not to give yourself a lot of pain, because sometimes there's pain there, and it can be very shocking, okay, because we're not aware of what's happening in our pelvic floors. And all you're going to do is do a circular massage about 20 times clockwise, and then I want you to go 20 times counterclockwise, and I call that the even effect. The reason that I think that this Queendom massage is one of the most critical things that women can do, it's not even internal, it's just external work, is because we want to get more power, and to have more power, this area needs to be able to move for a proper Kegel execution. So that's really important. Those are the 4 steps. I'm just going to adjust my chair. I'm in my living room, and I put these little things on the bottom of my chair, and the chair slips back. I'm like, ah. Anyway, I want to thank everybody who tuned in. If you have a question, for the love of God, put it in here. I'm going to go back. I'm going to read the questions. I want to thank you for tuning into the replay. Remember that when you read the power checklist that I'm sending to you, put on this live too at the same time. It's always nice to have audio and visual learning. Many different kinds of learners. I'm just looking to see if there's any questions. Wow, you guys are really shy today. All right, so I'm going to throw a question in there. Listen, this is what I know to be true. And, sometimes we need help. We need mentoring to get from here to there. We need someone to guide us. And that's what these Facebook Lives are for. This is when you join my community, I provide exquisite value all the time. And I watch out for your back. Some people, some women and men too, believe it or not, they want more, and they want to work with me on a private level, or they want to be in my group coaching. Now, I really don't open up my group coaching program that often, probably twice a year, And I'm lucky. I'm really grateful for that. So if anybody wants extra help, don't be shy. I got a link here somewhere. Oh, it's in the comments. It's in the comments, the link. Um, I have a question. Perfect. The coaching is in the comments. So if you're interested in getting more guidance, having me as your mentor, your vaginal mentor, bladder mentor, please don't hesitate to click on that, okay? Now, what was that question that I just saw? Okay. There we go. How much do pelvic floor exercises affect prolapse? And I'm assuming, thank you, Haley, for putting this in. Pelvic floor exercises are critical for prolapse. So anyone who has a pelvic organ prolapse, depending on the degree, the pelvic floor exercises are very important. The problem is that many times women are kegling themselves to dysfunction because there's the program is not balanced. As you know, I'm the no Kegel physical therapist, but I do Kegels also. You first have to start with the release of the leg go, the reverse Kegel, and then activate the pelvic floor to become stronger with a Kegel. What happens is, so that's full coordination, right? What happens sometimes is that we're trying to do Kegels like this all the time, and we're not giving it the full breath. And so Kegels don't work, and women with pelvic organ prolapse say, hey, this is not working for me. But it's not working, it's because you're not doing it right. Okay? So thank you for that question. I really love that question. This is from, here's another question. Does Kegel work for any degree of prolapse? Well, you're talking to someone who believes in holistic natural therapies. Now, if your organs are outside your vagina, which does happen, you can still do the exercises. You can put a pessary in, you know, you can do the exercises. It could make you feel less symptomatic. It's not going to cure the prolapse. Okay. But I'm a firm believer that we always must take the step of natural healing first before we do anything surgical. Okay. So for me, it's like, try it. Try that. Depending on the severity of the prolapse, you can try pessary also. So I am big on saving organs. Yeah, that's it. I am big on that. And I'm big for women empowerment. And this is why I do what I do, and I love it. And I want to thank you so much for supporting me on this journey. Okay. What else we got here? Okay, very good. I'm glad that I was able to answer those questions. So again, pelvic power, these stats that I read are completely alarming. And I'm like, I don't want anyone in my tribe to be one of these statistics. Hell no. So I decided to create this pelvic checklist. It's I love the title. Tell me what you think about the title. Look at this. The Female Pelvic Freedom Checklist. It's like, free my pelvis, free my pelvis, mm, mm, mm. Oh, sorry. Just started feeling that for a moment there. Definitely type in the word power. I'll give you this checklist. If you're interested in coaching, it's in the comments. The link is bit.ly, bit.ly/Isa Coaching. Yeah, I got that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the Pelvic Power Hour. Real answers to real questions posted by real people. And there's no jiving on this show. Have a great weekend. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. Celebrating Physical Therapy Month in style with all of you. Thank you, Nicolette.